Hey guys, what's up? I'm back in Florida. Very happy to be back too, man. I don't take the cold too well anymore. Hey, look at this. First tomato today picked out of my garden. I'm telling you, man, there's nothing like going out in your backyard, picking stuff like this. Tomatoes, basil, rosemary. I got lemons. I got oranges. I got mangoes. I got papayas. I got avocados. Very nice. Anyway, let me preface this by saying some of you may not like my language in this. It's going to be a little salty, but I'm sorry because I'm pissed. I'm angry. Again, with Elon Musk, I listened to him say something. I don't know how recent it was, but it definitely is his view on things, where he's saying that all inflation comes from government spending, and government spending, every sort of government spending, is actually a tax. Like, he's not even trying to differentiate. He's saying all government spending is a tax. First of all, I'm wondering if he feels that way about the subsidies that his SpaceX and Tesla companies receive. When those government transfers, when those government subsidies go to his businesses, which, by the way, support his wealth. The guy's worth over $400 billion, okay, on these companies that he owns, SpaceX, Tesla, and whatnot, Starlink. I'm wondering how he views that as a tax, because it absolutely goes towards the viability and the operating ability of those companies. So I'm confused. Also, let me say, as a recipient of Social Security myself, I'm 67 years old, I'll be 68. When that money is deposited in my account, I do not see that. That to me is not a tax. This is ludicrous. The guy is a fucking moron. I'm sorry, he might be great at creating businesses. Maybe he's a good engineer. I don't know. Some people say he's not even a good engineer. He hires good people. But when it comes to understanding economics, and particularly sovereign money systems, he is a fucking moron. He's an idiot. He is a clueless idiot. Now, some of you, I know here, you keep posting up. You just keep kind of parroting his same bullet points. I went and I did maybe 5 minutes worth of research, maybe not even that, okay? Where I looked at the trend of things like what has happened to the dollar since 1972. I use 1972 as a baseline because that's when, in 1971, we went off the international gold standard. So all you people with the printing money mindset, I started from 1972, and I looked to see what is happening with the dollar, what has happened with budget deficits and total government spending and inflation. All right, and here I'm going to read it off a piece of paper because I don't do fancy videos. All right, my videos are very simple. It's just me talking to you guys. All right. In 1972, the dollar index, okay, that's a basket of currencies against the dollar, was at 107.93. Okay, guess where it is today? Basically the same exact place, 107.90 something last time I looked. Okay, the deficit in 1972 was 24 billion. Today, it is, we all know, it's like 1.5, 1.6, 1.7 trillion. It was as high as 2.7 trillion during the pandemic. Spending was 270 billion. We know now spending is 7 trillion plus. So the dollar has not changed. Okay, 107.93. 107.93 now, okay? Despite the fact that the deficit has gone from 24 billion to, let's call it 2 trillion, despite the fact that spending has gone from 270 billion to 7 trillion plus. And here's the kicker. The CPI in 1972 was 3.4%. Inflation was, consumer inflation was 3.4%. Right now, according to the latest number, CPI number, it's 2.9%. So what is this? We've had, I mean, this is ridiculous. This is getting fucking ridiculous. And it pisses me off. I'll tell you why it pisses me off. It pisses me off because Elon Musk has said, people ask him, like, how did you learn how to start a rocket company? And he said, I read books. That was literally his answer to how he started a rocket company. He said, I read books. He said, I went over to Russia. I looked at their rocket engines. It's not something, you couldn't get them. It's not something that, it's not the direction I wanted to go in, something like that. So I read books. That's what he said. He learned, he basically is saying he built SpaceX, this supposedly leading cutting edge space technology exploration company. Okay, now, you know, let's forget for a minute the fact that the U.S. Put men on the moon in 1969, okay, 56 freaking years ago. He read books, but apparently he doesn't care about reading books when it comes to economics. There's some great books, MMT books right now that are out. Stephanie Kelton's book is out, has been out now for several years. You got an MMT textbook that was written by Randy Ray and Bill Mitchell, okay? A textbook that can be used as a teaching resource in universities, which explains it thoroughly, many, many chapters, all right? You can't say this stuff. And those of you who keep posting up this bullshit, ridiculous comments about all government spending lead, that if we're going to say that, then you might as well just say all spending leads to inflation. And of course, that is not true. It cannot be true if you believe in the capitalist system. Because again, spending induces the capitalists to create the goods and services that spending demand needs. Okay? That's the whole essence of capitalism. And I just gave you the freaking numbers. All right? The dollar has not changed. Now, we've had some periods where it goes up and down. I mean, you had that period in the late 70s, very early 80s, where you had 2 oil embargoes and you had Volcker going crazy, jacking up the interest rate to freaking 22%. Okay, but then it came right back down again. The dollar index in 1972 was at 107.93. It's at 107.93 right now. Okay? You're talking about 53 years later. Stop with this fucking bullshit about it dilutes the freaking currency. It doesn't. Now, I know a lot of you are not as smart as Elon Musk, but look, that dude who basically built a rocket company by reading books is totally fucking clueless when it comes to this shit. The deficit in 1972 was 24 billion. CPI was 3.4%. The deficit right now, let's call it 2 trillion. CPI at 2.9%. These are actual fucking numbers, okay? You don't even have to read a book. You could Google this shit. Spending was 270 billion, government spending in 1972. It is now 7 trillion. What is that, 30,000% or something like that increase? If my math is right, 30,000% increase. 3.4% inflation compared to 2.9% inflation. I mean, wake the fuck up. This, you know, and we got this guy deep into government right now, and I know a lot of you are cheering. This is so great because the 2 million to Iraq for the gay play or whatever it was. I'm on board with that, all right? But like I've been saying in my last couple of videos, if I don't get anything back from that, then I don't really give a shit. And I'll tell you why, because I don't walk around, with some high and mighty attitude that I'm morally and ethically better than it. I mean, I didn't know anything about those payments. It didn't affect my life. Now I know something about those payments under the guise or the claim by them that it's going to be a benefit to us to find out these things, right? Elon Musk is talking about this, like we're going to clean this out ostensibly so it helps Americans, right? Well, it better freaking come back to me in some way, shape, or form, because otherwise I don't give a shit about these things. I didn't know about them before. I'm not walking around partying, rah, rah, rah. They're not giving $2 million to a gay play. Look, I'm happy that that's not happening. But how does it benefit me? How the hell does it benefit me? That's what I want to know. And all this other stuff and all you people with the money printing and the government is the sole source, that is such bullshit. And the numbers show it. Inflation can only be caused by a situation where the system cannot meet the demand that money creates. And so far, nobody has made an argument that we are in a condition like that, where somehow the global economic system, the ability to supply the goods and services, is somehow not happening. It happened in the pandemic. And that's when we had this spike in inflation, but it's coming down right now, okay? So unless you talk to me about reality and stop just spitting out these wrong, clueless, idiotic, baseless points that you maybe heard on TV somewhere or in some fucking stupid economics book that has no credence whatsoever, because they don't even fucking understand economics, or from this idiot Elon Musk. If you're coming to me with those points, then, I mean, I'm deaf to you, okay? I do not hear it, because it is absolutely total bullshit. And I just gave you the numbers. It cannot happen. It cannot happen, period. End of story. Anyway. Sorry, I got heated, but I mean, like, it's just so much, there's so much bullshit that I could take before, like, and this guy, he's at the levers, he's at the controls, and it's like a pilot, who doesn't know the first thing about flying a fucking plane, that everybody's saying he's the guy we need to fly our plane. And he doesn't know jack shit about how to fly an airplane. That's what we got going on right now. And because the guy has so much money, and this is the thing, like, people think like people with money, they must be really, really smart. I knew people with money. When I was a floor trader, I knew guys with money that were dumb as fuck. I'm telling you, they were street thugs. They knew how to game the system, and that's how they got money. All right. They never went to school. They dropped out of high school. I'm not, nothing wrong with that. They made money. Like, if you're going to use that as a yardstick, if you're going to use that as a basis, then yeah, they're smart, I guess, in a certain way. But they're not. This guy, I mean, really, this is the guy flying the airplane who absolutely has zero knowledge of how to fly the airplane. And everybody's out there saying we got to put this guy at the controls of the airplane. Because why? Because he's got money. I mean, and the very money that he has, his wealth, is so much based on these government transfers, which he is now calling a tax. Let me tell you something. A tax, what does it do? It takes money out of your pocket. And if you're going to post up some shit about, but the dollar went down, okay? I just showed you that it freaking didn't go down. Get over it. Just fucking educate yourself and get over it already. We got to stop with this bullshit. Like the other day, oh, we found something in the Treasury books that maybe the debt is not, first of all, there's not even a debt, okay? As I've explained a zillion times. And second of all, that information, like you found something, excuse me, that's been published in the daily Treasury statement since there ever was a daily Treasury statement. And it's even been talked about many times, even on stupid networks like CNBC and Fox Business. You know, I've been explaining that for years, okay? So like we found something that maybe it's not, the whole thing it doesn't even exist. The whole thing doesn't even exist. When you start talking to me like that, like, hey, you want to know something? Not that, hey, maybe we found something that is going to, no, when you start telling me, you know what? This whole thing is bullshit. It doesn't exist. There is no debt. Then I'll listen, because then you know what you're talking about. Then we got the right pilot flying the airplane. That's when I'm waiting to hear, and I'm not going to hold my breath. I'm telling you right now, I'm not going to hold my breath. Anyway, we got a big week. The rest of the week are going to see very strong flows through the end of the month and into early March. You know, then we get into a dicey period in April, May with tax strains. But right now, like, you got to be long these risk asset stocks. We're gonna pop higher, man. So that's it for today, folks. Don't forget, please like and subscribe. Maybe you won't like because you don't like how I talk now. Before I was not talking this way, but that's up to you. I'm trying to get to 10,000 subscribers. I'm trying to get to 9,000 subscribers. And don't forget to go to my website, pitbulleconomics.com. Sign up for a 30-day free trial. You'll learn something. Then you could be aggravated all the time, like me. You'll learn something. All right, bye.